Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I'm certainly honored to rise in the House today to speak on this year's budget, Economic Action Plan 2015. And before I get started, I just want to indicate to you, Mr. Speaker, that I'll be splitting my time with the member from Kamloops, Thompson, Caribou, who has graciously let me go first so I can get to a committee meeting after this that I need to chair. So thank you very much for that. Each year we gather in this House as a matter of tradition and obligation to recognize the importance of planning and of creating the conditions that ensure that this country will continue to be the greatest place in the world to live and to work. And I can assure you, Mr. Speaker, that this country is the greatest place in the world to live and to work. Time and time again, we are confronted with the challenges of uncertainty, risk, and change. This year, our way of life and security was threatened, presenting us with a new, albeit equally important challenge. I am proud to stand behind a government that has consistently responded to all of these challenges with the same quality leadership. In this year's budget, we continue to exhibit the leadership Canadians deserve by staying true to the principles that put us in government in the first place. Supporting hardworking Canadian families, supporting small business, and consistently daring to innovate and grow our economy in ways that make Canada a world leader. Today, I will spend the time I have speaking about these three parts of the budget and how they combine to offer a strong vision for what this great nation can be in 2015 and years to come. Supporting hardworking Canadian families is where my journey as a Member of Parliament began, and it is where I begin today. Central to my values is a belief of the importance of community and the importance of family. One of the most unique aspects of this country rests in the Canadian family unit. Mom and Dad were equally working hard to pay for daycare, put their oldest through another year of university, pay for activities like hockey and dance, and eventually pay off the mortgage on their first home. Make up a snapshot of what it means to raise a family here in Canada. I know that raising a family is hard work, and I believe that any investment in Canada's future means investing in ways to help our Canadian families. Simply put, measures introduced by our government in this year's budget make life more affordable for every single Canadian family and children across this country. Increasing and expanding the universal child care benefit, or the UCCB, in order to provide every family in Canada with an additional $720 per child under the age of 18, and introducing the family tax credit are two out of many ways in which we plan to help support raising a family here in Canada. All in all, this budget makes sure that the average Canadian family of four gains average benefits of over $6,600 every year. One of the most important aspects of these benefits is that every single Canadian family will receive them. Part of why I am so proud to stand here in the House today in support of the Economic Action Plan 2015 comes from this budget's recognition that no two families have the exact same needs. It is through accepting this reality that as we as a government have taken seriously our duty to introduce programs and policy in 2015 budget that will help all families and will leave the most important decisions to the true experts, which happen to be Mom and Dad. Great examples of such programs lie in our continued support for benefits such as the Children's Arts Tax Credit and the Children's Fitness Tax Credit, which promote the importance of arts and fitness programming among children through credits of up to $500 and $1,000 respectively. Additional programs such as the First-Time Homebuyers Tax Credit, the Expanded Home Buyers Plan, and the Public Transit Tax Credit help Canadian families within the process of buying or building their first home. No matter what stage a family is at or where they need most help in shouldering their expenses, this government has made clear that it will be there for Canadian parents and their kids. Building on the base of the families, this government has committed a great number of resources in this year's action plan to provide communities across Canada with the infrastructure and support they need to continue providing the high-quality life that Canadians should expect. The new Building Canada Fund is a key example of one of these investments in the community, earmarking $5.35 billion per year for provincial, territorial, and municipal infrastructure. Another is the creation of the new Public Transit Fund that will ramp up to $1 billion a year to reduce urban congestion and gridlock in Canada's largest and dynamic cities, is one example that comes to mind. Under the $33 billion Building Canada Fund launched in 2007, we supported over 12,000 infrastructure projects from across coast to coast to coast, and will continue to support projects that make up our community's great spaces to raise families in. To me, part of taking pride in the strength and the resilience of community is tied to taking pride in that businesses that are rooted in communities, making up over 90% of Canadian businesses and employing 2/3 of all Canadians, small businesses are an essential part of what makes our Canadian communities so great and unique. Our communities grow, and this is something I believe to be true for my riding since first being elected in 2004. This government believes in small business and as such wants them to not only grow but to prosper and triumph. That's why since forming government we reduced the small business tax load by almost 50%. And in this budget we continue to invest in small business owners throughout this nation. Part of this investment has come through our slash in EI premiums for small businesses, through our small business job credit. This credit is effective for 2 years, beginning in 2015, and available to employers paying $15,000 or less per year in EI premiums, so approximately $570,000 in EI accessible payroll in Canada. The net result is applying this credit it's resulting in a 15% reduction in employment insurance, EI premiums paid by small businesses over the next 2 years, and roughly half of the $1 billion in savings from small firms and payroll tax cuts. CFIB has commended measures like these that make it easier for new workers or invest in additional training to help Canadian entrepreneurs grow their business. Feedback such as this drives our government to work even harder to help small businesses where we can. In this year's budget, we continue to commit to reducing small business tax rate from 11% to 9% by 2019, allowing small businesses to do what they do best, invest in their companies and create jobs. 2, improving access to financing for Canadian small businesses. Under the Canada Small Business Financing Program that has since 2006 provided over 50,000 loans which help new businesses get started and expand. 3, increasing access to venture capital financing to help innovate high-growth companies grow and create jobs. Accompanying these measures, this year's budget enshrines to policy what has been made clear through the Red Tape Reduction Commission in its findings that needless red tape kills jobs and growth for small business. Cutting the red tape burden by eliminating over 800,000 payroll deduction remittances to the Canadian Revenue Agency made every year by over 50,000 small businesses marks a step towards growth and jobs for small business owners. Pairing this policy with the freeze on EI premiums demonstrates a winning strategy for small businesses and their ability to gain the certainty and flexibility that needs to be to continue being key parts of Canada's economic success story. It's measures like these which allow for small businesses to gain support, stay competitive, thrive, and prosper. An important part of leading Canada's small business towards paths of success is ensuring that their path towards success are not stifled by red tape and raising the capital necessary to grow. It also means, most importantly, investing in the future of Canadian entrepreneurs. We take seriously the need to invest in tomorrow's best and brightest small business owners by allocating substantial resources to the future of entrepreneurs in Canada. Economic Action Plan 2015 supports entrepreneurship by investing substantial resources into internships in small business and supporting leaders in the promotion of entrepreneurship, such as the Canadian Youth Business Foundation, by investing $15 million for up to 1,000 post-secondary graduates to intern in small and medium-sized businesses across Canada, and further providing $49 million to the CYBF. This budget creates the supports needed to make sure the Canadian entrepreneurs are part of the unique success story emerging from this great nation of post-recession. Strongly tied to entrepreneurship and what is perhaps the most important part of this budget is the vision it articulates for research and innovation. This budget makes substantial investments in world-class research and innovation by providing over $1.5 billion in funding over 5 years to advance government's renewed science, technology, and innovation strategy. Enshrined to this investment is the belief that the real key to Canada's future prosperity is investing in making Canada a hub for cutting-edge research and innovation. We are currently ranked #1 in the G7 for our support of scientific research and development in our colleges, universities, and other research institutes. However, why stop here? By supporting innovation in our post-secondary institutions and centres of higher learning, we commit towards continuing to foster the sharpest minds when it comes to driving Canadian-made ideas, research, and technology. This generation will receive the support it needs to thrive, starting with this year's budget commitment to the following: expanding support advanced research infrastructure in universities and colleges through new funding in Canada's Foundation for Innovation, landmark investments in post-secondary education by creating the Canadian First Research Excellence Fund with $1.5 billion over the next decade. And these initiatives will create results for all Canadians. By remaining competitive to the principles upon which we are elected, and we have created 1.2 million net new jobs since the depths of the downturn, we have delivered the lowest overall federal tax burden in 50 years, supporting hardworking Canadian families, supporting small businesses, and consistently daring to innovate and grow our economy in ways that make Canada a world leader, represent the roadmap for this accomplishment. But leadership is what has made this possible. What separates a simple plan or design from true leadership is the willingness or the wherewithal to innovate and to excel above the status quo. By putting forward budget like the Economic Action Plan, we're allowing every Canadian to do what they do best, continue to uphold our commitment to make this great nation the best that it can be in 2015 and the years to come. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.